Welcome to Storytelling with the Storyteller, presented by Active. We are having a conversation amongst intellectuals. Today, one of our guests is a brother who I adore. I have been knowing this brother for a little over a decade and a half in different realms or another. He is a community figure. He is a producer. He is a poet, a man of many hats, a father, activist, and a Muslim. Thank you for coming to this platform, Stone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother. Thank you for coming. Stone, I want to tell you first, it's my privilege and my honor for you to come and be on this platform. I know that you are a man of many stories, and I'm glad that you chose to tell your story with me. So we're just going to dive right on into it. First, I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born birthrights from Felisa Leona King, Anthony Liddell Strange. That's my mother and my father. I was raised in the roughest part of East Texas, Longview, Texas. That part, what they consider 12th Street. Back then, they were saying it was a gang. We were saying it was a family. So you had the people that were on the outside looking in thinking that, hey, man, they're gang members. But actually, we were just trying to survive with the little that we had. Yeah. I love my mother. She strived hard to give us and provide for the things that we did have. I love my father for providing the things that he gave us through life. Especially with my siblings, brothers, sisters. Before I go any further, I want to shout out to the Active team. I want to shout out to you. I love you. I've been loving you for forever. But there's really not really much to know about me. I'm a very simple kind of man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I said, we come from the dirt, as they call it, the mud. Yeah, they come from the mud. And we just, I've learned how to take nothing and make it out of something, or take something and make it nothing. I've learned how to recreate myself in different forms because I'm the oldest sibling.
So you're the first?
I'm the first.
And how many siblings do you have?
Altogether, it is 13.
Okay.
That's not including stepbrothers and stepsisters. We don't use that term in Islam. You're either my brother, my sister, or you're not. So whenever you include all of us, it's like 25 of us. Okay. Okay.
But you happen to be the head.
I happen to be the head. I'm the only one that actually bumped my head.
By that you mean?
By that I mean by getting into I can't say the streets, because of the streets, we're all there. You have a little bit in you whenever you come from the culture that we come from. I would like to say that I was the only one that bumped my head and actually winded up in prison. Okay. All my other siblings, I'm very proud of y'all. They seen my mistakes and they learned from them. And like I said, whenever I left and went to prison, in my heart, in my mind, in my eyes, my spirit, my soul, my ruh, my life, they were babies. And for me to see them grow up in a 7-year span to what they become, all I can say is, man, alhamdulillah. All praise to God. He watched over them. None of them ended up all the way on the down slope. Yeah. Like it's amazing.
Do you think that? So you were gone 7 years?
Yes, 6.5. A little right beneath 7, but yeah. You might give it. Yeah, you might give it to him. Yes, ma'am.
So do you think that 7 years that you did, being that you are the eldest of so many siblings beneath you, and we both understand the role in being the older sibling, and exactly what that means universally. What you've been gone those 7 years, do you think that in that time there was some form of redemption that you went through that helped to catapult them into being into the straight?
Yes, to a certain extent, because I believe in mathematics, numbers. I believe it all coming together universal numbers 1, 2, 3, and everybody knows the universal number 7. So I looked at it like the 7 years that I left, the growth of them all. I mean, once I came home and actually seen the things that they were striving to become, it was like, hey, maybe my imprisonment was already predestined, because I didn't go and fail. Most people say that you go down and then you come back either worse or punk or this, that, and the other. But what I've learned, just watching and observing, because that's one thing that you learn down there. You're going to meet every type of person in the world. Okay. Like, and when I say every type of person in the world, when I actually landed on the Coalfield unit, everybody that hasn't been to Coalfield is made of brick, glass, and concrete and steel. That is it. So if it is 100 degrees outside, it's 121 in there. Mm-hmm. With one big whirlwind fan blowing. And when I was there, I met Egyptians, Chinese people, doctors, lawyers, animal tamers, mechanics, the dude that's screwing light bulbs, hobos, you feel what I'm saying? The people that own businesses, people that was broke. And then myself coming to the play as a Muslim that had a strip club before I left. You know what I'm saying? So you have successful people, and then you have people at the top. And then you also, whenever you're in there and you have on, the reason I chose the word white was because this is what you wear. So whenever you go in there and everybody has on white, now you're equal. 1 + 1. 2. Are you sure? 1 and 1 is not equal. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's 1. So therefore, whenever you have 1 and 1 and it's not equal, 1 and 1, and then they saying it's 2, 2 is an equal number, right? Mm-hmm. So now you realize that 1 and 1 is not equal. You know what I mean? It doesn't have nothing to do with skin color. It doesn't have any of that. 1 is 1. It's the dominant.
So do you think while you were in there that you get on the road to redemption? Did you find redemption there? When did the redemption, if at all, start for you?
Honestly, it started with my music at the Cotton Club one night. And actually, you were there. And you done the Boogeyman poem. Love it. I love it. I need a copy of it. And you done the Boogeyman poem, and I was listening to what you were saying, like the boogeyman and the guy and the person in the closet and under the bed and boom, boom, and who was really the boogeyman. Mm-hmm. And whenever I came home that night, it was just replaying in my head. And Robert Earl Dickey, he's a very highly respected man in my community. He had his ups, his downs, and I loved him. He's the pastor's son, and he
and a hell of a keys player. Lord, I'm
beautiful. Like, you can hum it and he'll play it. And from there, what he done for me was open up the Bible. Mm. And he used to read scriptures from the Bible for me to make me open up my eyes and see and get on the path that he wanted to get on, but he couldn't take because of the platform that his father and them had already built for him. Right? Jesus led me to Islam. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it crushes me to see that most people in the streets, grandmother will let you be a Crip. Their mama will let you be a Blood. Their auntie will let you be a GD. You can stay with them and you can gang bang. You can Crip, Blood. What's up, cuz? What's up, Blood? What's up, Lord? What's up, folk? Or whatever, right? You can be that all in the streets, all you want to, right? But then if you go to prison and then you find a new form of light that comes from your energy, your inner God, and you find that, now it's a problem. You come, oh no, we don't believe in that, but you will let me Crip. And you'll let me.
Why do you think that is?
I just think it's because of the false teachings and the doctrines. Also, personally, I feel like that most people don't read. They only go by what they're told. Like, let's say, for instance, if we make a Storyteller Stone movie, they'll watch it all day, right? But if you write a book, they never opened it. Yeah. You feel me? They wouldn't even buy it. You feel me? Tupac and Notorious Big had documentaries and books wrote, right? African American culture, most of them didn't even know about it until they made a movie about it. And then they're going to cut out what they don't want you to know. It was the same thing back then. You know what I mean? Like, hey, most of them couldn't read. So the ones that could read, they just cut out what they don't want you to know. Right? So whenever you actually start reading in between the lines, and you look and you look and you look, hey man, there's some things that they didn't take out. And then once you go to questioning yourself and you go to questioning everything you do, you realize, hey man, the growth is within. He was hung from a stake. Oh, he was hung from a tree. Oh, he was done. You know what I mean? And you just ask questions. And then whenever you ask questions, the people that you're asking the questions to that's supposed to know the answers can't give you a direct answer.
So what do you think? Because I can tell that you have a pretty much vast experience on a lot of different things and a lot of different people. But for you personally, what do you think your influence was? Not just the 7 years that you spent, just in who you are, even before you went and even after you were released. What's your influence? What influences you?
It might surprise a lot of people. I mean, it's going to touch your soul when I say this. My influence was Isa. Jesus. You know what I mean? I always seen this painting, but then my uncle, Tick, Lizel, love you, boy. He used to read this part in the Bible where he said, his feet was like this and his hair was like wool and it was like this, and then you'll see the picture in the paintings and you're like, that's not describing the same person. And I wanted to know who this guy was because I want to walk on water. You know what I mean? I want a bunch of people to follow me. And the only way that a bunch of people was following me when I was looking into it was, hey, through my music. Hey, I do Barbie doll swag and you got everybody dancing and jamming. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. I'll throw a barbecue and everybody come eat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Hey, man, if it's something to give, they'll come. Right? But then you'll turn and you'll leave the wild thing at night, and I'm the only one at church. You see what I'm saying? And I used to listen to the pastors in this, and then it's like I said, to answer your question, before I ramble off, because I go off.
Take your time, brother.
To answer your question, Jesus, Isa, was my influence.
Always. That's always been your influence.
Always been my influence.
Okay.
And even in the hood where you see the guy that they call the so-called this dealer or the gangbanger or the guy that shoots or this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, you always seen them pray. Or whenever I was going to church, they used to send their tithes with me.
Really?
Yes. Big Raj, R.I.P. JoJo.
God bless you.
Monster.
God bless you.
They used to send their tithes with me. So I used to wake up early enough to go by to collect their tithes because I know they wouldn't go. Not that they were ashamed to go. You know what I mean? It was just much more of they were paying their respects. Mm. They're putting their money in the pot, their tithes, because they feel like, okay, that's going to get me there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And whenever they did this, it just influenced me more. So, man, this guy has to be powerful for these guys that people in the neighborhood say this, that, and that about. For them to say, here, go put this in there for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, wow, Jesus. And then when that song came out, something about the name Jesus, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was riding for the wild thing. I was riding for the wild thing one night. It was me, Dove. Hey man, he my boy gone, man.
God bless you.
He's gone. And it was me and Dove and Lunt. We was in the car and my Uncle Little Joe. And we was riding, boom, boom. Hey, let's go to Dallas. Right? And we halfway to Dallas and that song came on. Something about the name Jesus. I got in my feeling, we ran off the road.
Really?
Yeah, we stuck on the side of the road. We just stuck there. Yeah. Stuck there. We, did nobody pray or nothing. Boom, boom. I got to praying, man. A diesel truck came and hooked us up with a chain and drug us up out of there.
So that influence of Jesus being, or Isa being your influence, has made, do you feel like it made you become an influence to all those followers, they're falling now, but all those soldiers that were around you? Do you think you became that type of influence for them, and or you still are?
I think it was slight confusion because whenever most people go to prison, you have, like I said, remember I said earlier, the grandmas, the aunties, the mamas saying that the prison religion or this, that, and the other. So whenever you get out, the first thing they think is, hey man, he's Muslim. He doesn't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So whenever you get out and you have to make them understand, hey, do y'all know that y'all wouldn't even know about Jesus if it wasn't for the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam? And they don't understand it. Yeah? Because you have to take them back and you have to look in history. Okay, if you're trying to erase Stone out the picture, right? Kill him. Anything you know about him, anybody that says anything about him, kill him. Knock them off, don't say nothing. Any books written about him, throw them away, throw them in the trash. It's only going to be written what I say is written about him, this, that, and other. Mm-hmm. Right? And then whenever they finally come up with this, and then you have a person that comes along and say, hey man, that's not true. He was this, and this. And they start following him. Right? Mm-hmm. And like, hey, tell us more about him. And you can't touch this man because he has God, some people call him the Father, Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever names that you want to call him, the highest power. And that's what I want to explain to the people when it gets down to that is, it's not that I don't believe in Jesus. He led me to Islam. I love him. I trust me. Some people be like, hey man, will you die for such and such? Yeah, and we can fight. I'm from the hood. We're going to squab about it. You know what I mean? But they have to understand that, hey, I love the one that he called his father more. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I love my brother. I love my blood brother, my step brother, my street brother, this, that, and the other, right? But I love the one that gave birth to me more. Because without him, it wouldn't be no me. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's what I want. That's my main focus. And that's why since I've been home, I haven't dropped a lot of music. I haven't dropped a lot of songs. I haven't dropped insubordinate videos. I haven't just flooded it. Even though we have the material and the criteria to do it, I have the people that's going to support me. I have an active team. I have a wife. I have brothers. I have sisters. I have people that's willing to pour money. I have Dougie D. Love you. Trey the Truth. Love you. Zero. I love y'all. I'm coming to Houston. I have you. You feel me? I have the people that's like, hey man, go do it. But what is my vision and my influence going to be? You know what I mean? So I looked at the long view as 2020. We have to be perfect vision. And before I done anything, at first I want to get out parole. Just completed it.
Amen. Good for you, brother.
Good for us.
Good for us.
Good for us. Because now it's time.
Okay.
You hear me? And I don't want anybody to make the same mistakes I did. I don't want nobody to look at me as a role model. Because, hey man, I've done the worst that I could do.
Do you want to be a role model?
If Lily, you know my youngest daughter.
Yes.
Lily,
Yes.
little flip. Yes. You feel me? She always talks noise, right? And I always tell her that, hey, you're my role model, right? Mm. And then Elisa, my oldest daughter, I always tell her, hey man, you're my role model. You know? And
how many children do you
have? I have 2, but I have 3, but I have 4. But I have 5.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
All right.
So it's.
Got it.
And they push me to strive to be better because it was something that Jordan Parkman told me one day, and we was in prison. And when we was in prison, his wife ended up getting impregnated by a guy, and he didn't know how to take it. And we were talking, and we was reading, and he said, "Hey. Guess what I just found, Stone? What? What you want? Let me have a soup. No, give me some cookies. No. All right, I'm gonna make a cake." And he said, Joseph wasn't Jesus' daddy.
I'm sorry.
No, because that's what I did. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? But in his mind, it opened up to show you that, hey man, it's going to take more than just this father, because there's many men out here, not just African American, Hispanics, Chinese, and everything that impregnate a woman and run, right? They cover it up, they hide. Some of them, the rich pay for it. You know, the other ones abort it. Texans say you can't have it. You see what I'm saying? And they do these, and then when the child is born, you have to realize who's going to help raise this child. They say that, hey man, it takes a village, right? It takes a village. So was Joseph a village of his own?
Well, don't ask me those kind of questions
because
I'm so unorthodox in my thinking
of
religion, and quite frankly, I think that religion does nothing but divide. And I think once we start dropping names and titles and wives' tales and things that we think we know, and just realize that there are many suns and many moons and many earths and many planets and universes, I think we'll all be better. I think the shit we talk about between is a distraction from us really becoming our full selves and loving the totality of us all. Because before there was anything written in script or text or scroll, we were inscribed in our hearts to be. And so if I had to write a Bible, it wouldn't be but two words in there, and that would be to be. That's all I mean.
That's what it is.
Don't ask me.
That's what it means in Arabic. Kun fayakun. To be, and it is. You hear me? To be. This was meant to be. I met you, like you said, when I was 19. I'm only 22. You know what I'm saying? I met you then. Kun fayakun. To be, it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand the division.
Right.
Cool. There's nothing wrong with that. At the same time, if it helps you become a better person and a better man, a better woman, a better figure, a better father, be it.
So be it. All right. So be it.
Lakum fayakun. You hear?
Now, I noticed that it sounds like you're fluent in Arabic. I have a couple of brothers.
Not all the way fluent. I work on it.
You work on it? My brother, Sabir, and I got another brother named Keith Parker. They're also fluent. And I love when they speak it. And so, do you take the time when you're in the hood? Mm-hmm. Do you share that beautiful language with your brothers?
I've taught many spirits, many souls to humble themselves and realize that the tongue that we speak, that we so-called English, isn't a peaceful language.
Right.
Put it like that. And whenever I greet them with the universal greeting of Assalamu alaikum, even my baby sister know how to say wa alaikum salam. So I haven't went to the depth of, hey, learn this, learn it. You know what I mean? Because even Lily knows her salats. Does she do them all the time? No. I'm, over there in the Middle East now with, I think Al Qaeda has taken back over. They don't want the women to learn anything. So this wouldn't be possible for you speaking freely and open to me. So what I've learned to let a person build an appetite, like I greet them with Assalamu alaikum, and I take them to the stores with me where they buy their beer, their cigarettes, their chips, their candy. And when I walk through the door, they say, Brother Hanif, which means true in faith, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And they look like, wow, what'd he just say? I want them to, you know what I mean? I want them to build an appetite like, whoa, like, hey bro, okay. Cause I call it niggerdom. You feel me? Niggerdom is the ignorant that doesn't want to learn, but they want to learn on their own terms. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this how, when I was in prison, I rose to Cadi. If you don't know what a Cadi board is, a Cadi board is like Judge Judy. I'm trying to break it down to niggerdom. And Judge Judy knows all the laws. She knows what, how, this, that, and the other, but Judge Judy is fair. But she is blatantly honest. You hear me? Even if it hurts your feelings. I'm the same way. I'm blatantly honest. That's why whenever you see me, I might talk about a guy's shoes. You hear me? Hey man, your shoes leaning like a walrus. Everybody go, ah man, he got walrus shoes, right? They're gonna laugh, but it's honest. But in their mind, it's tickled only if you accept what you have. If you don't accept what you have, you will anger, which is the worst thing you can do because it blinds everything that's in front of you. You know what I mean? So whenever I go to the hood and I greet them with Assalamu alaikum, they don't greet me back with wa alaikum salam. Even my mother knows. You hear me? My birth mother knows it. My second mother, Mama Jennifer, love her. She knows it. You know what I mean? My Aunt Denise, my cousin Marita, my cousin Delise.
God bless the dead.
Alhamdulillah. You know what I'm saying? And they all accepted, hey, he got out, but this makes it better. You understand what I'm saying? So if they're not building an appetite for chicken spaghetti and we out there cooking chicken spaghetti, they're going to want McDonald's. So therefore, hey.
So you feed based off need?
Based off appetite. Because I need shoes. I need a bigger house. I need, you know what I mean? But I'm happy with what I have, but I'm striving to have more. So the person that is happy with what they have, but striving to have more, I will feed you. I would give you my whole brain. I would give you all the knowledge I have, inside and out, right? Because the highest power is only going to put so much on you than you can handle. That's Jewish, Buddhism, whatever. Any religion, anything you want to follow, even if you don't follow the higher power and you are a atheist. You hear me? You can only smoke so much drugs and do so much and have so much sex before you can only do so much, right?
Right. Do you think evil is good?
To a certain extent.
To what extent?
Because I've learned that even if you want to do wrong, evil, if you want to do evil, you want to do evil the correct way.
Okay.
Right? If you want to kill 30 people and rob this bank, you want to make sure all 30 people are dead and you rob that bank and get away successfully without going to jail, without, you know what I mean? Without none of your people getting injured. So even with the evil that you do, you want to do it right. So even whenever you do wrong, you want to do wrong the right way. So I look at it as, hey, even that you're doing wrong, you want to do wrong the right way. So you still want to do right.
Right. And thus that would eliminate evil. Right?
Yeah.
So, because I believe that evil has a place.
It's a balance. Let's say not place, balance.
And I think that it can, like I've done evil things, or what could be considered evil, but I did them and I had good outcomes. And so when I take it to the throne and I say, okay, forgive me. But here on this earth, I had good outcomes. So that it made me question what.
So you want to do evil the right way again?
I don't necessarily see. No, because I wouldn't. When I get to the bottom of it, then it wasn't evil. Okay, and when I get to the bottom of it, I think a lot of times evil gets a bad rap. The true things that are evil, we don't even call that evil. Those things that we don't even most time put a name on, or we think they're just regular. I think it's evil to be depressed, and they say it's depression. I think that's evil. I think it's evil to not speak to someone. I think that's evil. And most people say, oh, you got the right to do that. I think it's evil to cut your family off because we live in a time where people are cutting their family off and it's called healthy. I think that's evil. So the things that I think are evil are deemed as good. And the things that I think are good, most call evil. So I don't really hold the concept of evil the way most people do.
Thank you for opening it up. Because you said people cutting their family off. Mm-hmm. Is there a correct way to cut your family off?
No.
No. So therefore, it can't be evil if you want to do evil the right way. Mm-hmm. You hear me? So what is it? You know what I mean? if there wasn't for the shaitan, Iblis, the chief jinn, or whatever you want to call him, the serpent, a lot of us wouldn't have the drive to even live. A lot of us wouldn't even have the drive to do this, that, and the other, right? And then they call him or it or whatever deity it is evil. Yeah. But whenever you read the scriptures, the Gnostic scriptures, this, that, and the other, no, Iblis wasn't evil, because whenever they say evil, evil would be something that is totally out of the highest powers control. You feel me? Like you said, cutting your family off. There's no white regular, hey man, I ain't messing with my mama. I don't know how to cut her off. You feel me? Unless you kill her or something like that. You know what I mean? So I have no problem with the serpent. I have no problem with my own jinn. You feel me? Your own jinn is your inner evil, what they call it, your smokeless fire that's in the inside of you. You know? And the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam made his jinn Muslim, is what he said. Man, I made my jinn a Muslim, which means I can control my temper. I can control my anger. I control everything that goes around me. So if you think that you're making me mad, I'm laughing at you. I ain't saying I ain't getting mad, but I'm controlling it, hitting you in the face or shooting you or shooting your whole family up, right? Because I've done some things that they call evil now. Things that they send, which takes you back to prison. There's people in jail right now for writing hot checks to feed their children. It's people that's in jail right now that hey man, he accidentally had a drink because his daughter was doing this and he crashed into a man and killed them, and you know what I mean? It's people that are in prison right now, you know, that do not deserve to be there. You have innocent people there because this is what they feel, that, oh, this was an evil deed, so we're going to lock you away, or we're going to kill you in the state of Texas, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do this because we have the power, right? Yeah. Well, what if evil comes to you? The karma on this, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't believe in none. I have, because of where I come from, but still at the same time, it's like, hey man, if you're going to put evil as, hey, evil is the serpent and good is the way of the Christ, yeah, you know what I mean? Without the serpent, you wouldn't even really have the Christ, or you wouldn't even know what good was if you didn't know what bad was, or whatever you're calling it. You know what I mean? But was this serpent really bad for telling you the truth that the higher power didn't want you to know?
Well, now we'll part ways on that, because we'll talk about that story off of camera. Yeah, we'll talk about that part off of camera. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
drink on you.
Drinks better be on you, because I'm wearing your ass out with it. However, let's talk about your music, because you have been doing music for a very, very long time, and you have several songs that I love.
Walking on the ass.
That one, so many of them.
My knees bad now. I can't really walk like that. No.
Yeah, right. So when you create your music, what goes into it? What goes into it when you create your art?
I don't see music like most people see music, black and white sheet paper. If you play the note of C, I see it blue. If you play a G flat, I see turquoise. And people, most people that don't understand the music thing don't see that, you know. And I can hear Come and Ride That Train, you feel me? And to me it sounds just like 21 Savage flexing on my ex-bitch. You know, so I'm looking at the notes and I'm hearing it and I'm like, wow, this goes together. That's why I kind of DJ here and there. And if you ever hear me DJ, I might mix a Johnny Taylor song with a Little Kiki song. I might take the Little Kiki beat and mix it with a Johnny Taylor lyrics.
Because they sound like
that to me. And then you will have certain people that look like they're dancing to the beat. Yeah. And then you have the old people clapping to the Johnny Taylor, last $2. And in my mind, they're seeing what I'm seeing, but then they don't hear what I hear. And the only person that I met that actually seen and hear like I hear was, once again, Robert Dickey. you know, and he came to my house and he was, I think it was a Ludacris song. I got hoes, I got hoes. But he was walking around saying, I smoke dope in different area codes. And I'm like, bro, that is very artistic, you know? And he showed me from C to C. And then back then, hey, I thought I was the biggest Crip ever. You feel me? And you can't tell me nothing, I'm a Crip. So C to me wasn't hard to learn from here to here. You know what I mean? So I learned everything in between it into what I hear. And I learned to, when first I was just doing music for as to try to impress my father.
Really?
Yes, because he his vocals used to move me.
Your father can sing?
Oh yeah. You need to go on my YouTube, subscribe, and listen. Haters can't stand me. You feel me? All that. You feel me? I don't need y'all. Remember the old songs? That's him.
Oh, okay.
You
so
know?
I didn't know that.
But his voice used to move me like Cora from Mr. Brown. And like you hear her voice and it sometimes she'll hit a note and it's like, but he was moving me for it's like, you might hear the little Kiki song where they singing in the background. You feel me? You know, and I'm like, man, my daddy can do that. I don't need nobody. You know what I mean? And my brother Cadillac. You feel me?
Oh.
You feel me? Their voices were church voices that moved to the streets, and they were singing about street things with a church voice. The same way whenever, hey, year 2000 when I met Big Mo. You feel me? And he came up to my Aunt Sheila's club, the Uptown, you know, and she had a limo. She drove us up there, and it was me, Dawg, Misty, Murphy, you know, all of us was up there, and Big Mo came up there, you know, boom, boom. And he had his ball babies, you know, and he started pulling people on stage to freestyle. But the same way his voice moved me was the same way that my dad's voice moved me. You feel me? They are people from the church that are singing about their lifestyle. The same way now the new age had Mo 3.
Do you think the church is still an influence on the sound that we hear now?
I think more people are starting to realize that even the church is built Southern. So I can't just say the church, I would be like more the pain that the Southern people used to sing when they was in the cotton fields. Or, you know what I mean?
Right. You think we hear that sound now?
Let that hammer fall. Do you have Mo 3? It's been a long. Yes.
Okay. Mo 3 probably could have had that sound.
Yeah.
I don't hear that sound much, but I will say Mo 3.
Yeah, Mo 3. Mo 3 had that sound. And, you know, like you said, God rest the dead. Now, it's the new art form that has come because I missed it. When I left in 2012, you had Mary J. Blige, Mr. Wrong, Bag of Money. My girl bad looking like a bag of money. You had, you know what I'm saying? You had them playing, you had Lil Wayne Faded and Leolo and Drake and them kind of blowing and this. And I left. And when I came back, I never heard Kendrick Lamar, Migos, what's the dude say? Never cut the bitch off. K-Camp guy. I'd never heard none of these guys. Even my little brother now, Camp Nowhere. I never heard these guys. You know what I mean? When I started, you had 903, CG and them. You had Bigger Bag Tim them. He called himself T Money back then. You know what I'm saying? You had D'Angelo Monfrey. You had XO was rapping, but she was with Robert Pierce. They used to beat and rap. But then, you know, right before I left, you had MAAP. They had their little group. You had New World Clan, LA and them. They had their group. You know what I'm saying? And we was a movement. The NFL lockdown had happened. Luxus Ice and Dwayne Black and them was on the team of, hey, we'll go to the mall and perform. We're going to go to Tyler and perform. You know, so they actually put things together. So whenever I get out, and I didn't see none of this. Yeah. You know, I don't know who none of these new guys are. I knew Zulu, the DJ, Lil Petey, love him. But, you know, he had started doing his artist career. And I'm like, wow, this I'm not used to this sound. It's, you know, it shocked me. Yeah. And then whenever my brother Payback, you know, I call him and he comes and I'm like, bro, I don't understand it. You know, and he was like, man, just make a beat, just do your. I didn't understand how you can do. You know, you had AJ 1K, and all of I didn't understand that. You mean me? You pull up and then they got chopper beat me, and then bother me, got your girl top of me, and then bother me, and it's offbeat. I didn't understand it. It was like I freaked out. Yeah, I really did. Like I didn't understand it.
Like a musical culture shock.
Yeah, like it was like you're going from Africa hearing the drums to going to hear the band sandpipe like you're lost. You're like, whoa, where is the kick, punch, clap? I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? So whenever I dropped around here, I thought that the culture might adapt to, okay, he's back, right? But actually, when I did it, instead of continue to go, I felt like a girl told me a long time ago that I was dating, you ain't gonna never make it. Right?
Okay.
And I was like, after I dropped around here, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't understand views. I didn't understand likes. I didn't understand hearts. None of that. I just made the video. My brother T-Mash, you know, he shot the video. My brother Payback, you know, when we shot the video, kids dancing, had fun. My mama had fun, you know. And whenever it didn't dawn on me, like, hey man, people are watching you, you know. Or like my brother Aldi, assalamu alaikum, you know, he got out and he continues to push, whether they liked it or not. You know what I mean? Whether you like what I'm saying or not, I'm going to continue to push. I stopped. And I stopped and started working on other artists to try to figure out and master my craft. Like, okay, what am I lacking? Why they're not listening? But actually, they were. You know what I mean? Whenever you're gone 7 years, you have to think about, hey, you locked yourself in your room for 7 years and you come out. 1845 had a bridge. I didn't know where I was. I was lost. So this is I had to adapt, not just mentally, not just physically, not just spiritually, all the way around. Okay. You know what I mean? And I had to find another way to express myself, because that's what I do when I do music. I express myself. If I go in the studio angry, I'm going to drop an angry song. If I go in the studio heartbroken, I'm going to drop a heartbroken song. I can't go in the studio with Master Millie and he's on Who Killed Kenny. Love that song. You feel me? And I'm in there like, my girl cheating on me. I sound like Sir Charles and he want to crank up and then I'm trying to crank up. You feel me? I've never been that type. I have to match energy. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when it comes to my music, that's why you love Walking on Them so much, because it's an energy that he can be down here drunk, tired, sleep, depressed. And when I hear this song, it turns me up, right? And that's what I realize about the culture. Every song they do turns them up. And their attention span is shorter. When I left, a song could be 5 minutes. Wanna be a baller. You can play that song from here to Kill Go. 3 times you in Kill Go. Now you can play the B-Box Challenge. Doom, doom, doom. By the time you come on, it's off. You got to play this song 30 times just to get the Kill Go. Because it's only 2 minutes and 18 seconds. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to music and arts, I had to take a step back and realize that, hey, I'm not trying to duplicate or do what they do, because a lot of them was looking at me like, change it. Mm-hmm. And what I realized about the industry, talking to different people that had, like Big Pup, love you, they want something different. You know what I mean? Ariana Grande came in, she didn't sound like Mary J. Blige. They want something different. They want to hear, what can he take this southern, this blues sound and mix it with this sound and make this and make that and make this. And that's what I'm telling you, like when this next album drops, it might go over a lot of heads on certain songs, and metaphors might go over a lot of heads on certain songs, but they might rock to the beat. And some of them are going to not like the beat, but like the lyrics of the song. Okay. You know what I mean? And I've learned that, hey man, I just have to do me. When I got out of, when I dropped the Quarantine album, I went in there, I was depressed. My brother Sockets had passed. I didn't know I couldn't find myself. But I hadn't dropped so much music in so long, I just put on like 8 beats. Go. You know what I mean? And when I listened back to it, I gave them away at Fast Bass. Mama Scott, how you doing?
Do you think that when we make our music or whatever art, whether it's music, poems, paintings, whatever, do you think that we make that for other people or do we make that for ourselves?
I watched my sister, Crystal, create art on TikTok. And she makes it quick. It might take her 3 weeks to make this piece. But the way she puts it on TikTok is she'll take the blank paper, and she'll put the outline, and she'll do this, and she'll turn it. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful art.
Yeah, there's a two of her pieces.
You know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful art. And what I realize is I do the same with when I'm creating my music. But what I had to learn was even the higher power creates. So whenever you use your energy, you have to learn to create and also recreate yourself. I read the book Machiavelli in county. Didn't understand it. It's just words. I read it again after I was 2 years in the county. Didn't understand it. It's just words. Right? When I got to Bono, read it again. It was just words because I took that book, a Quran, and a Bible. It was just words. When I got to Coalfield and Raja, Christian guy, love him to death. He explained to me that this guy isn't killing himself and rising again. He's recreating himself. And he gave me the 48 laws of power. And that was one of the powers. Recreate yourself. So I thought about Tupac. He recreated himself. I thought about Puff Daddy to P. Diddy. They recreated themselves. Pimp C. How he went from Pimp C. Sweet James Jones. Zero. Wrote the Vandross. They recreated themselves. Not for the public, but for themselves. Because, hey, I can get tired of you if we stay together. I'm tired of you leaving the toilet seat up or whatever. I'm tired of you drinking all the water, right? But if I recreate myself and you're tired of me drinking all the water, now I'm going to bring in Kool-Aid. So I had to learn to, hey, while everybody's wearing their dreads on top, I'm going to wear mine in the back. I don't want to be like you. I'm going to recreate myself. You feel me? I learned that from reading the book Machiavelli. And like you said, the 48 laws of power, the Prophet Muhammad, the Prophet Isa, alayhi salam, all of them, and my brother Bubba. You feel me? Recreate yourself. He recreated himself, because he used to write me when I was down. And he recreated himself in these letters so much that I kept him. He went from this guy to Sabali to this guy to this. I'm like, boy, look at this boy. And when I got out, I'm like, woo, look at him. You feel me? And he recreated himself. But you can also get to the point to where you get stuck in this sphere, in this ball, in this box. And we talked about that in a podcast I had. You get stuck on the block. You feel me? Because you don't know how to elevate and recreate yourself. You know what I mean? The world changes and then it repeats itself. Right. But if you already have what happened in the 90s, you already know that. So you're a step ahead of them. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at with musically. Okay. You know what I mean? Now I know how to speak knowledge into my music. They'd be like, you ever heard somebody say, yeah, you heard Busta Rhymes, but he ain't talking about nothing. Yeah. That's because you're not listening. Right? All they talk about is money, cars, sex, drugs. That's what most of them do. Yeah. Right? Because this is what you want to hear, right? That might be their hook. Money, cars, sex, drugs. That's the hook. So you can dance, so you can jig to it, so you can catch it. And they might spit 1,500 jewels in the inside of it. But they'll miss it. And that's where I'm at. Like, hey, I need to find a way to make them dance. Make them like it. But make it short because of TikTok. Make it short enough. Make it short enough to where, hey, they can jig, they can listen, they'll listen to it, they'll love it, they'll do this. But at the same time, be me. But recreate myself in it to where I'm not Flintstone anymore. You feel me? I'm not even Flintstone anymore. I'm not a character to you people anymore. I'm just a solid rock. A stone. I'm a stone. I'm a rock. You hear me? I'm stone, the synonym from rock. And I feel like I'm from a whole nother planet, like Chewbacca and Spock. Yeah. You feed the child. You feel what I'm saying? And now that I've recreated myself mentally, you feel me? I'm not gonna argue with my old lady or nothing. I'm not finna hit you, cuss, fight, none of that. If it's making you mad 9 times out of 10, it's not towards me. You're really mad at over there, and you just want to throw it towards me because I'm finna go cook. You hungry? They still eat. If you was mad, you wouldn't eat, right? Yeah. I changed myself spiritually. I'm gonna pray whether my mama there, grandma there, auntie there, cousin there, brother there, sister there, don't care. Hey man, I'm finna go pray real quick. And they'll get to the point to where they respect it. Hey man, he praying, don't go in there. You feel what I'm saying? Hey man, I don't know what he doing, but he in there doing that thing. You hear me? Dog, you say, go put your button now. You hear me? Go put your button now. But he was also showing that, hey man, I'm watching you. I understand that, right? And I recreated myself mentally, physically, spiritually. Now it makes me grow as a person financially. I'm not scared to accept, people have nicknames. Call me Tutu, call me J-Rock, call me this. Fernando is my name. That's my name. That's my birth name. My mother gave me that. Anthony Fernando Strange. You hear me? So y'all know me as Anthony from school, and y'all know me as Strange from my father. Why not embrace the middleman to make myself balance? So I'm Fernando, the Stone. You hear me? I'm no longer the character that walks around. Flintstone was a cartoon of a man of the struggle. They don't see that. Bedrock, which is a place in Africa, which also had different cultures of people that lived there at this time. Right? All he had was the garments on his back. He wore them every day. The wife that he was loyal to. One friend. You hear me? One day, and it's crazy because they don't break it down like that. They don't look down and see like Fred was always with Barney. Right? So when I was Fred, I was always with Doll. Y'all didn't really see me with too many people. Now, if you'll come to my house and there's other people around, hey man, they were just bed rockers. But when we ride, this is the guy that I know I can trust in my life. This is the guy that I know, hey man, if I die, he'll take care of my kids. This is you know what I mean? He was my Barney. You feel what I'm saying? And it was this person of the struggle. Now that I feel like people say that it's hell on earth, and that's why I feel like it's at prison. It's hot. It's hot. It changes you. But prison. Yes, but prison, because in that prison, like the shape the prison, like when
like a prism.
Yeah,
yes.
Like they cut diamonds, right? Mm-hmm. And first it's just a rock to certain people. If you find a diamond in Africa and you don't know what it is, you just think it's a rock. Most people throw them. But when you put that indestructible laser on it and cut it, and you see these prisms and these different colors and these different things and what comes of it, now they run around their neck and their teeth.
And the refractory light that comes out of a prism. Great. Now, and the prism and prison. I've never been to prison, of course, so I'm not speaking from that perspective. I'm just speaking from a spiritual knowledge on it. Because I have tried to send messages to people in prison or in jail, and I know there's a lot of concrete, and it is hard to transmit energy through concrete. So I have a hard time getting my messages through to prisons or to jails just simply because of the prison, the cement that it's in. So it's hard to get light in there, in prison. In comparison to a prism, where it is an object that has, like you say, been cut into several diamond shapes, and it has a refractory light that is inside of the prism. When you were in prison and you compare it now to this present model where we are as a prison, where do you see the light? Or do you see the light? And can you see the comparison and the contrast between the prison and the prism?
I would say the prism would be the dunya, as they call it, world. And but like you said, the light coming from out, I'm just be blatantly honest. I had more loyalty, respect, brotherhood, and love inside the walls. If a man say, hey man, I'm gonna give you a shot of coffee tomorrow. If he gotta kill the warden to give you that shot of coffee, he's gonna do that.
So that's interesting, because you said you felt more brotherhood and more loyalty inside than outside. Do you miss it? Sometimes not like, oh, nigga want to get locked back up. I'm saying the bondness, the unity of it. Do you
Yes.
miss that?
Because whenever we used to pray and Islam, the Muslims pray together, we used to be foot to foot, shoulder to shoulder, so tight that whenever you say Allahu Akbar, your arms are like this. Because it's said in our religion that that if you knew the blessings that was on the front row when you pray, you would cast lots, and then they hate gambling. You feel me? You would cast lots to get on the front, right? And men used to race. You know what I mean? Hey man, I'm trying to get out this, and they would bang on the doors, and they would get mad because of these guys won't let them out to go to Jumu'ah. Hey man, I'm trying to get on this front row, to where I go to the mosque here in the free world, where you have guys been there an hour and they just sitting in the back or on the corner, got their back against the wall. And I feel like the difference is, in there you have so many people that want that second chance. They want to get out. They want to show the world that, hey man, I have this light inside of me and I've changed. I'm not a blood. I'm not a Crip. I'm not a GD. I'm a good man. I've changed. I've corrected my behavior, my ways. I want a second chance, like, you know, my baptism. I want to get out and I want to show them, hey man, I can be a great father. I can do this. And there's many men that get out of prison that do that. Imam Jamal, assalamu alaikum. You know what I'm saying? Brother Derek, assalamu alaikum. You know, these brothers was locked up 25 and 30 years and they get out and they change themselves. You feel me? And they're the influence to me to show, you know. And I learned more in prison to become a man than I ever did on the street, because of most of these people don't really know how. They just go with the flow or the trends of what's going on. In prison, I learned to question myself. In the world, I can be like, I'm hungry. And I stopped by McDonald's. I wasn't really hungry. I just rolled by McDonald's and I seen it. So I had the money, so I stopped and got me something. In prison, when you only got 5 suits, I'm hungry, you think about it. You know what I mean? Hey, am I really hungry or am I thirsty? Can I make it to the mall? You dig what I'm saying? And I started doing that to everything I do. Why do I like green? You know what I mean? Why am I looking at this woman that walked by? Why am I doing this? Why am I attracted to that? Why am I, you know what I mean?
Do you find it hard to stay connected to the faith and religion in the free world? Do you find it a struggle?
I find it easier.
You find it easier?
Yeah, because like whenever you fast down there, right? It's hot. It's 121 degrees. Like, so you going without food, without water, without, you know what I mean? And here, hey man, I got AC. I just cut the AC on in my car to tilt, you know? Ramadan was so easy when I got out. Like, wow, this is too easy. I had to start challenging myself. Okay, well, let me eat one day. You know what I mean? To try to feel super hungry, or, you know what I mean? I had to challenge myself that. But then I realized when I got out in the world, it wasn't much more of the hunger or the spiritual. It was much more of the avoiding them TikTok pants. You know what I mean? The girls that got on the, I don't know what kind of fan, you know what I'm talking about, the little ridges that, hey, make the grandma look like she got a butt. Mm-hmm. Man, when I got out, like, yoga pants and stuff was like, whoa, 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 wow. Well, you know, it was like, whoa, whoa. And that was my challenge. You know, not drinking, not smoking, not saying that I haven't drunk, not saying that I haven't smoked, you know what I mean? But it was much more of, when I was down there, hey, they had the same thing that they got in the world, they got down there. You know what I mean? But I was more like, I don't want that. All right, let's go to work. Let's get off work. Hey, let's do this. Let's write. Let's take care of, boom, boom, so I can get back home, because my brother wrote me a letter. Look at these pictures. They getting big. You feel me? My baby sister Justice, when I got out and seen her, I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? So it recreated me to, and I push every race, every color, every denomination, every age of every person to, hey, before you go cook you a sandwich, ask, are you really hungry? Because there's somebody out there on the street that's really hungry. You know what I mean? And whenever I went to trial and I lost my trial or whatever, you know, you have the people that stand up and say, oh, he's a good guy, this, that, and other. Right? It was one letter that was wrote, you know, from Arnita Square. Love you, boo. And my lawyer read it. And the things that she said in that letter was coming back and flashing back as it was saying, oh, he gave his shirt to a homeless guy. They wasn't taking it literally. But I like literally used to do these things. You know what I mean? Like here, on my feed. My best friend was a music genius, but he done this and that and that. You know what I mean? And people used to belittle him. But hey, man, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Because I don't mind hanging with the crackhead, the baby raper, or this, because that's what you was locked up with. What I'm looking in the inside of you, what can I learn from you to make me a better person, to make myself greater? You know what I mean? I've learned how to block out certain things in the world. People going to talk about me, slander me. They're going to slander you. They're going to talk about me. They're going to talk about this. You hear me? Oh, you sit up there all day. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. He didn't give me no shout out. They're going to have something negative to say because they are negative people. I love you negative people. You negative people show me how not to be. You know what I mean? I love the people that's going to pump it up. Oh, this is my boy. This is my boy. Because they also want you to blow up so you can grab something so they can ask you for something. I've lost more friends since I've been home of them not keeping their word.
That's what I was just going to ask you. What is the loyalty like since you've been home?
Horrible.
Horrible. Piss poor.
Trash. Basura.
Boo-boo.
Dumpster juice.
You heard me.
Booty in the can. You feel me? Because if this man has come to me and say, hey man, I'm struggling. Right? And I'm just going to put it out there. I work at Dollar Tree. Right? I worked at Dollar Tree 1 month since I've been home, which is 3 years and 2 months from today. I've been there. They say, come, I'm there. 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, come to Tyler, come to there, I'm there. I've never had a check over $500. Never. And this is 2 weeks. I've never had a check over $500. So I've got $200 checks, $300 checks, $400 checks, $200 checks, $300 checks. And then you have to do the math. When your rent is like $650, and then you have phones and then car notes and kids needs and this food, because I don't get no food stamps or none of that. They get you food stamps when you first get out, right? I don't have none of that. Then your granny gets sick and this and that, and you have to pay this and that, and your car breaks down and you have to do this. You know what I mean? My pride is not too high to ask for help. I just struggle in silence. You hear me? I walk to work. So forget how you feel about it. If you see me walking down the street, you give me a ride, I'm going to take. There's only a fool who doesn't accept the help. You hear me? I can't push this car up this hill by myself. I got it. No, you going to help me? Come on. Saves energy for in a minute so we can reach in our pocket and get us something to eat. Right? And people come to you thinking that, hey man, he back, he this, he that. And I will lend and help, and I'm going to give you my all. But I've learned here recently, this is just the beginning of this year. You know how people say they make New Year's resolutions? It wasn't a resolution for me. It's just to simply let my yes be my yes and my no be my no. If you stay in a household and you got an old lady, right? And this old lady staying here and your cousin and your homeboys here and y'all smoking and you're drinking and you're barbecuing and you're doing this and you're doing that. And then you come to me and you say, hey man, let me borrow $20 to Friday. And I give it to you. And you don't pay me back Friday. You will never get nothing. Thank you for using, like a car note, I call them Fernando notes. You can pay $5 weekly or whatever you need to pay your debt off. Don't come asking me for nothing else. And it cut down my company. It cut down the people that's around me because they really meant you no good at all. They really thinking that, hey man, this is going to be the guy that's going to blow up, that's going to do this. And I really think it for it, like they say, it's lonely at the top. This is what they mean. This is what they mean. Whenever you grow and you grow and you grow, you realize people start shedding because they're really just riding your coattail and just dragging along anyway. It can be a significant other or anything. A mama, cousin, brother, sister, this, that, and other. But at the same time, I still love my family. They need something from me. But it has to be a need. So if my sister say, hey, can you give me $20 for gas? Follow me to the gas station. I'm going to put the gas in your car myself. Oh, you can just give me the money because you don't intend to use this money for what you asked for it for. You feel me what I'm saying? That's how you eliminate all that. You hungry? Come on, I cook chicken spaghetti. I want that chicken spaghetti. You ain't too hungry. Because when you down there and you hungry, even Muslims have to eat pork if that's all they got. By necessity. I ate peanut butter and jelly cornbread for 3 years. You know what that is? You take a piece of cornbread, whip peanut butter and jelly, put it on top, and you eat it like cake.
Now, I ain't never been to the penny, but my old man of 21 years is a participant of it. So I know about peanut butter and cornbread.
When I got out, I was so little. Yeah. I'm so little that, oh man, he lost weight. He worked out. No, I stressed about are my siblings dying. I stress, is my mother going to be okay? I stress, is my father going to be okay? I stress, is anybody else going to die before I get out and I won't be able to say, man, I love you before you die. I stressed. You feel me? I stressed also about the brothers in there. He's never coming home. Uncle Ray Dunn. And you know what I'm saying? I stressed like, man, will y'all ever see the light? And it was just my big heart. You know what I'm saying? My loyalty. And I done music in prison. They have a stage. They have beat makers. They have they have it all. And I done a song in there, ain't no guarantee we gonna make it home. And when I done this song, Randall Clark, we call him Kilgore, that's where he's from. He's from Liberty City, but he claimed Kilgore. He was down there. He got an FI5. He was my cousin Shubu. So we got cool. We were from Gregg County to all this, right? He got an FI5, means he's going home within 5 months. Soon as he got his answer, he died 3 weeks later. The police told his parents that he smoked K2. This man, all he done was drunk coffee, went to work, and sung Key Sweat. Right? Heat stroke. But this is what they tell him in there. And I see it all the time. I know a guy got 50 live sentences. He running around cool. Free Torres. I know a guy that had 2 years left, hung himself. Because he don't know how. You feel me? And that's where your inner light, if you that's what we saying about religion and divide, like, hey man, some people have to follow something in there. I went to the field minister school and I learned a lot. I learned this religion, this. The only reason I chose Islam, because in my mind, that was the closest thing to worshiping the higher power, the creator that created us. Right beyond that is Jehovah's Witness. The only thing that separates them, they say Jesus is his only son. In Islam say, hey man, all of us, he created us. He didn't go begots nothing. He didn't put his seed in his woman. Why would he come down and choose his one woman when he can just create, kun fayakun, be it is. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's what created the person that you see now. I don't really mean to take it or discussion just more of religion or music or this. I just want the people to see that you can overcome, because I went down there.
Well, I don't necessarily think you're doing it. I think what you're doing is painting an overall picture that the music, the religion, the experience, that it's all on one chord. And it has all came together to make exactly who you are in your evolution at this present time. So even though they may be separate topics, I think they're along the same stream. Now, I would like to ask you, all you've been through, all your experience, you've been out now almost 3 years, and you have experienced loyalty, disloyalty. You see that the sound of the world has changed. You see that the people have changed, their attention spans. Now we have this thing called TikTok. What is your vision? What is your vision now with all you know and where we're going, not just as humans, but as a society?
I feel like the society is getting to a point to where sticks and stones used to break your bones, and now words don't even hurt you. Where you can say what you want to say and do what you want to do, and nobody cares. Where back in the day, to where if we were playing a game that we call I Go Get It, mama, you know what I'm saying? Where you go, they hide and you hunch or whatever you used to call it, get butt, get booty, but this is my era. Come on, you know what I'm saying? You 30, I'm 19.
Yeah.
But it's I'm using it as a reference to show them that it's like it's things are the same, but at the same time it's the kids get it faster. I don't know if that makes sense to me. The kids get it faster to where I feel like when my mom and them was bringing on my granny and them, they say babies come from here or this, then. Now parents are more blatant and blunt and honest, because of your mama can be 30 and the kid's 15 years old. You see what I'm saying? And then now mama's 45 and, you know what I'm saying, kid's 30 and your grandma already. You ain't even get a chance to. So now since your grandma already and your kid grown, now you going out at 45 trying to, you feel me? You see what I'm saying? So everything, as soon as you thinking that it's elevating, it turns again. You know what I mean? The same way I feel like the Black Lives Matter, people hate my scenario about it, but it's like, hey man, Black Lives Matter. Then they say all lives matter. Then they say Mexican lives matter. Then blue lives matter, and this lives matter. Okay, the dude just died over there, and then nobody killed him. What about him? Well, he was a hobo. The hobo lives matter. The hobo lives matter. You see what I'm saying? They all want to direct your, like, and that's why the only thing that I liked about that President Trump was when he said that fake news, the media. You know, if you know about the God media, she used to whisper things in your ear and lie to you. You know, and it's the same. Not saying that they lie to you, but they only want to show you what they show you. If a plane crashed in Tyler, right? Tomorrow on the news, you're going to see the plane crash in Tyler, but you're going to also see the other plane crashes because things happen around the world all the time. And that's the thing that I like about the world since I've been home. You just open your phone and you can look, and people sharing their different stories, and people sharing their Bible, people sharing their book of knowledge, people sharing what they're going through, and they want you to follow them and see what I'm going through. Watch what I'm going through. Watch what I'm going through. And still, the media only grabs a few. You know what I mean? Watch them, be like them. Watch them, be like them. But they have created a broad cast for you to show them that, hey, look, they just beat a dude in the street over here. Rodney King didn't get that privilege. You feel me? They only got what they show. You know what I mean? And now instead of even helping the people, everybody's gonna pull out their phone. Yeah. Or they got a camera on already. You know what I mean? Or you feel me? Oh, I had a wreck, but I got footage of it. You know, you see what I'm saying? Everything is being watched, and they, you know, this is like the all-seeing eye. And it's like you taking. They say, brother, Raja used to say that they taking the all-seeing eye, brother. He was an extremist. Extremist is not just ISIS people that come clear blood. He was an extremist, like he took his religion to the fullest. You feel me? He sat down to pee. He ain't gonna do this. He gonna pray on as soon as you go beep. He already ready to pray. If y'all ain't gonna pray with him, brother, shut up. You know. But he constructed his mind to what this is what makes me better. And he's saying that they was taking the all-seeing eye from the only thing that sees everything and everything. Well, not at the same time, because we don't see when that tree fell over there in the woods. You feel what I'm saying? So it's. I just want to. When it comes to my music, like you said, and just to rewind, my loyalty, me being an artist, the sacrifices, the things that I've been through, the things that I put up with, because I put up with a lot and don't say anything, to control myself so I won't go back. You know what I mean? I put up with having to take this less payment so I won't go back. I put up with family saying this about you. Friends saying this about you, so I wanted to go back. And then once I start getting to the point to where I've had enough, I pull this person to the side. Hey, Daytanya, I heard you told everybody that I sip moonshine. Yeah. But I'm not gonna do it in front of broadcast, TikTok, cell phones, because whenever we used to get into them when we was kids, hey, we go in the backyard, we gonna fight, they gonna cheer us on, you feel me? Boom, boom. When one start crying, don't tell. It ain't like that no more. You know what I'm saying? They're going to record it. They're going to blast you. Boom, boom. That's where this pistol play and stuff come from. Because the people don't want to be embarrassed. You feel me? True. They don't want to be embarrassed.
That is so true. Yeah. No one, we was talking about that the other day at work, how people are intolerable of the feeling of embarrassment. It is like the most awful thing, and their reactions to embarrassment it just blows my mind. But that's neither here nor there. You have a lot of knowledge. And at the top of this podcast, you've probably named about 9 or 10 people that are no longer on this plane. You have suffered a lot of personal deaths since you've been home in the last 3 years. If you could give me one positive thing about all that loss, what would you Deep, and it's okay. Here's the beautiful thing about the heart. The heart does not have lips. It does not have eyes. All it has is the blood that pumps through it. And when the heart is full or the heart is broken or the heart has been exposed, when that blood is pumped, it pumps up and tears fall out our eyes. And it's a natural process, and it is okay, and it's not anything that we have to stop. It is okay. It's your heart's only way to speak. So, don't stop yourself from the tears.
I made a song said, I'd have cried so much I'm out of tears. Because when I was in prison, I stuffed everything. They say your sister Nicole killed herself. I stuffed it. Because I'm not here to mourn. Big Raj died. I'm not here to mourn. You feel what I'm saying? Lil Tony got killed. I'm not here to mourn. And they were steady naming. Every time you reached out to the world, somebody had passed. You feel me? So whenever you finally get out, and for one of your siblings, a younger sibling, pass, and you see it, I got to the point to where, whoa, you know what I mean? Brother Sakis Alayhi Salam, you know, like your heart was pure, it was good. Why you, not me? I had to come to realize that if I am true in my faith, if I'm Hanif, that death isn't the end. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of people that say, hey, they want to go to heaven, right? But they don't want to die. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people say, hey man, they want to meet Jesus. I want to be with Jesus. But they don't want to die. They're not willing to give up the most precious thing that every creation on earth cherish more than they cherish their children or their offspring or anything, which is their lives. Nobody wants to die. You feel me? And the ones that do want to die, they prove it. They go ahead and take themselves out. Yeah, oh man, he attempted, he cut his wrist. Bro, if you want to die, you'd kill yourself. You know, you see what I'm saying? So I had to come to terms with myself that death was the last thing that the most, according to certain scriptures that I read, was the last thing that he created before the chaos. You see what I'm saying? So just reading it, and the good that comes out of it is it pumps me to be better. Because if I don't have a son, I can take care of Daw's son. You know what I mean? If it pumps me higher because of Joseph P.R. Bryce. Jojo had a vision when I was a kid. We're going to open up the show. We're going to sell t-shirts. We're going to get, you know what I mean? I've met many Houston artists, many come down there and they drop their CD, you know what I mean? And when I got out, he had that same vision. He didn't let go. You know what I mean? And now they're physically gone. Whenever I think of them, because I have an obituary wall, you know what I mean? When I think of them, I'm like, Instead of questioning myself like I told you I used to do, man, now I question, hey, what would JoJo do in this situation? What would Daw say in this situation? You know what I'm saying? I reflect on the deceased. Then I go back to the ones that respect me higher. I don't know what would Spanky think about this, or what would do about this. You know what I mean? So I spend more time contemplating until my third eye opens with the vision like, and I come to what I feel best fit for any situation, whether it's going to the playground, water, but whatever it is. I don't care, you know, even today, you know what I mean? Like, okay, how should I come? Should I come? What should I wear? Should I wear you know, and I find myself rambling in my own mind until I start thinking about them talking noise. You know what I'm saying? You can hear the voice in your head. If I read a letter that you wrote me when I was in prison, I don't hear my voice talking. Right. I hear your voice of how I remember you. You feel me? So I do the same thing to them, and that's the good that comes out of it. You know what I mean? What would he say to me if we was in this situation and I'm finna go in here with $5 and buy cheese? You know what I mean? You better go to Gene's store and buy some summer sauce. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take the knowledge and the ilm, because that's one thing that we leave on this dunya, this world. It's our ilm, our knowledge, all this. So when they watch this, they're going to say the same thing. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? Hey, boom. Some people going to get some out of it. Some not. Some people going to watch 2 minutes of it and skip it. Some people going to watch the whole thing. Some people going to watch it over and over and love it. Others they ain't going to pay no attention to it at all, because we ain't talking about raping, killing, stealing, drug dealing, homosexuality. We're not talking about none of that. You know what I'm saying? But then if we just get on here and say, yeah, man, I went to prison off gay. I got, you know what I mean? They look at it like, man, because it gives them something to reflect, talk about, and continue the drama going. You dig what I'm saying?
So you would say from those deaths, you would say that it just gave you strength to be able to make decisions better for yourself?
Yeah, because what don't, like you said, what don't kill you make you stronger. They say this all the time, but it is true.
Absolutely.
When that heat down there don't kill you and you come out to this, you know what I mean? You can have one box fan blowing in your room and you are living comfortably. My uncle Edward stays in a little, what's them little things that you pull on the truck with the little camper things? He cool with that. You hear me? I'm cool with that, because you done been through the slums. You're not trapped in the slums.
We have thoroughly enjoyed you. Thank you for your transparency, and thank you for your honesty. Thank you for just being yourself and being a living example, you know. And so, yeah, let us know where we can, when should we be expecting your CD? When should we be expecting your CD? You say you're dropping one soon, right?
Yes, I was waiting to drop the album.
When the album, excuse me.
Yes, to after, because we just can't say CD no more. They stream, they do, you know. So I was waiting to finish my last 6 songs on it.
Okay. So soon.
After
Just
this,
stay tuned.
Like I can leave here and go do it now, because the music isn't hard at all. I just wanted the world to know, or to what do I want to say to these people, and how do I want to be remembered by it. And now talking to you influenced my lights clicking. My thoughts clicking, because I had writer's block, you know what I mean? And now my lights clicking like, okay, stop doubting yourself. Be yourself. Be part of that a collective team that's inspiring visions everywhere. Be the poet that you know that you are. Be stone. Be that rock. Be solid. Don't fake it. Don't fake the funk. Reach down in there and get it. Tell them the truth. Tell them about prison. Tell them about life. Tell them about this, because I want people to remember me as, hey, let's say I didn't have $1. He was solid. Let's say, hey man, he drove the regularest car. He was solid.
He was solid.
You hear me? Hey man, I had nowhere to stay, man. He was solid. He let me, you feel me? And I'm also solid. I'm not gonna go broke or giving you my, you know, I don't have anything, no. Right. But I just want you to know that to everybody, man, it's a better way. But you have to recreate yourself. You have to, the first 48 law of power is never outshine your master. Realize who your master is. You know what I mean? Realize that it's something higher than you. I have brothers that say, hey, man, I'm a God. I'm a God. Okay, what's behind that wall? Because God is all seeing, all knowing. He knows everything that's going to reign you. So be honest with yourself. I'm honest with myself now. I know that I don't like this, but I know why I don't like this. I know I can't eat pickles because I know this is why. And I don't like to look like this, hived up. And you know what I mean? I know why. I know this is why. You know what I mean? And when I don't know, you have to learn to open up the book, study, and read.
Let's self-approve.
Yeah, don't just use Google for porn, Pornhub, you know?
Trust me, please. That. Thank you, Stone. I want to forget. Thank you so much. God bless you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all check us out next time. This has been Storytelling with the Storyteller, King Stone. Thank you, brother.